Hello everyone, myself Prashant Tyagi, legal intern from Team Lexus and Company. I hope you all guys are safe and healthy. I hope you like my previous video, Family Laws in India Part 1. Please like, share, comment on my videos and subscribe our channel Lex Click for getting latest updates. Today in this video, I am going to discuss the part 2 of the previous video, Family Laws in India Part 1. In this video, I am going to discuss and cover the remaining topics of the first video part 1 of family laws in India. In this video I am going to discuss the topics child marriage, adoption, maintenance, succession under the different family laws in India. So let's start our video with the child marriage. The Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929 from 1 October 1978 provides that marriage age for males will be 21 years and for females is 18 years. Now we discuss the adoption under the various family laws in India. Although there is no general law of adoption, it is permitted by the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956 among Hindus and custom amongst a few numerical insignificantly categorized of persons. Since adoption is a legal affiliation of a child, it forms the subject matter of personal law. Muslim, Christians, and Parsis have no adoption laws and have to approach the court under the Guardians and Wards Act 1890. Muslim, Christians, and Parsis can take a child under the SAGD Act only under foster care. Once a child under foster care becomes major, he is free to break away all connections. Besides, such a child does not have the legal right of the inheritance. Foreigners who want to adopt Indian children have to approach the court under the aforesaid act. Hindu law relating to adoption has been amended and codified into the Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act 1956, under which a male or female Hindu having a legal capacity can take a son or daughter in adoption. In dealing with the question of guardianship of a minor child, as in other spheres of family law, there is no uniform law. Hindu law, Muslim law, and Guardians and Wardens Act 1890 are three distinct legal systems which are prevalent. A guardian may be a natural guardian, testamentary guardian, or a guardian appointed by the court. In deciding the question of guardianship, two distinct things have to be taken into account: person of the minor and his property. Often the same person is not entrusted with the both. The Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956 has codified laws of Hindus relating to minority and guardianship. In the case of uncodified law, it is upheld the superior right of father. It lays down that a child is a minor till the age of 18 years. Natural guardian for both boys and unmarried girls is first and the father and the mother. Prior right of mother is recognized only for the custody of children below 5. In case of illegitimate children, the mother has a better claim than a putative father. The Act makes no distinction between the persons of the minor and his property, and therefore guardianship implies control over both. Under the Muslim law, the father enjoys a dominant position. It also makes a distinction between guardianship and custody. For guardianship, which is usually reference to guardianship of property, according to Sunnis, the father is preferred and in the absence of executor. If not executor has been appointed by the father, the guardianship passes on the paternal grandfather to take over responsibility and not to the executor. As regards right of natural guardian, there is no doubt that the father right extends both the property and person. Even when mother has custody of minor child, father's general right of supervision and control remains. Father can, however, appoint mother as a testamentary guardian. Thus, though mother may not be recognized as natural guardian, there is no objection to her being appointed under the father's will. Now we discuss the maintenance under the family law in India. In the various family laws in India, obligation of a husband to maintain his wife arises after his status of the marriage. Right to maintenance form a part of personal law. Under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, 2 of 1974, right of maintenance extend not only to wife and dependent children but also to indigent parents and divorced wives. Claims of the wife, etc., however, depend on the husband having sufficient means. Claim of maintenance for all dependent persons was limited to Rs 500 per month, but this limit was removed by the Code of Criminal Procedure Amendment Act 2001. Inclusion of the right of maintenance under the Code of Criminal Procedure has the advantage to making remedy both speedy and cheap. However, divorced wives who have received money payable under the customary personal law are not entitled to claim maintenance under the Code of Criminal Procedure. Under Hindu law, the wife has an absolute right to claim maintenance from her husband, but she loses her right if she deviates from path of chastity. Her right to Maintenance is codified in the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. In assessing the amount of maintenance, the court takes into account various factors like position, liabilities of husband. It also judges whether the wife is justified in the pendant light, and even expenses of matrimonial suit will be borne by either husband or wife. Under the Muslim law, the Muslim Protection Act of Muslim Protection of Rights and Divorce Act 1986 protects Muslims women who have been divorced or have been obtained divorce from their husbands and provide for matters connected therewith incidental. The Act inter alia provides that a divorced Muslim woman shall be entitled to reasonable fair provision and maintenance to be made and paid to her within the iddat period of her former husband, where she herself maintains child born to her before or after the divorce. A reasonable and fair provision and maintenance to be made and paid by her former husband for a period of 2 years from the respective dates of the birth of the child. An amount equal to the sum of meher or dower agreed to be paid to her at the time of marriage or any time thereafter according to the Muslim law. All property given to her before or at the time of marriage or after her marriage by her relatives or friends or her husband or any relative of the husband or his friends. In addition, the Act also provides that where a divorced Muslim woman is unable to maintain herself after the period of iddat, the magistrate shall order directing such of her relatives as would be entitled to inherit the property on her death according to the Muslim law, and to pay such reasonable and fair maintenance to her as he may determine fit for proper. Where such divorced woman has children, the magistrate shall order only such children to make maintenance to her, and in the event of any children being unable to pay such maintenance, the magistrate shall order parents of such divorced woman to pay maintenance to her. In the absence of such relatives or where such relatives are not being in a position to maintain her, the magistrate may direct state Waqf board establishment under section 30 of the Waqf Act 1995 function in the area in which the woman resides to pay such maintenance as determined by him. The Parsis and Marriage Divorce Act 1936 recognizes the right of maintenance, both alimony, pendant and permanent alimony. The maximum amount that can be decreed by the court as alimony during the time of matrimonial suit is pending in the courts in the 1/5 of the husband's net income. In fixing the quantum as permanent maintenance, the court will determine what is just, bearing in mind the ability of husband to pay, wife's own assets and conduct of the parties. The order will remain in force as long as wife remains chaste and unmarried. The Indian Divorce Act 1869 inter alia governs maintenance of rights of a Christian wife. The provisions are the same as those under the Parsi law, and the same considerations are applied in the granting maintenance, both alimony, pendant and permanent maintenance. Now we discuss the succession under various family laws. The Indian Succession Act enacted in 1925. The object of Act was to consolidate the large number of laws which were existing at that time. Laws governing succession to Muslims and Hindus were excluded from the purview of that Act, while consolidating the law in respect of succession. Two schemes were relating to succession of to property like Indian Christians, Jewish and persons married under Special Marriage Act 1954, and the other relating to succession rights of the Parsi were adopted. In the first scheme applying to those other than the Parsi, in the case of person dying in his state leaving behind a widow and linear descent, the widow would be entitled to fixed share of the 1/3 property, and linear descent shall be entitled to remaining to a 2/3. Under the second scheme, the Act provides the Parsi in a state succession by the Indian Succession Amendment Act 1991. The Act was amended to provide equal shares of both sons and daughters in their paternal properties in respect of the fact that it was that of father or that of mother. It also enables the Parsi to bequeath the property of religious or charitable purposes. A vast majority of Muslims in India follow Hanafi doctrines of Sunni law. Courts presume that the Muslims are governed by Hanafi unless it established to be canonical. I hope you like and understand this topic, family laws in India. Please like, share, comment on my video and subscribe our channel. Let's click for getting latest updates. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay tuned. Have a nice day.